Hi, this is Vicki from Learning Services at George Mason University. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can use Google Calendar to create a semester calendar with your upcoming deadlines and exam dates. With time management, I like to think about it at three different levels. First is your big picture. What does the semester look like? The second is your weekly routine. When do your classes meet? When do you have to be at work if you have a job? And the third is your day. What tasks do you need to complete each day in order to meet those deadlines and prepare for those exams? Now, time management is a very important skill for you to have in college because this is actually something employers are going to be seeking. They want to hire people who are good at managing their time and who can meet project deadlines. So in addition to that, it's also really helpful to know when things are due. This makes sure that you're never going to miss a deadline. If you just try to remember when things are due, that's going to eat up a lot of your working memory. And we want to save our working memory because it's very limited in its capacity to actually doing the assignments and getting the work done and focusing on the learning. We don't want to be having to try to remember when something is due. So by writing it down, either in a paper calendar or an electronic calendar, that is going to free up a lot of our working memory. Make sure that we're getting everything done that we need to. The next thing that it does is it helps you be much more productive and efficient. You waste a lot less time when you know that what you're working on. And time management also ensures that you have sufficient time for sleep and exercise and leisure. We don't want to just have things on our calendar that we have to do. We want to have things on here that we also want to do, things that we look forward to. By doing all of this time management, it ultimately results in a lot less stress. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that I have done here is I've opened up a calendar to the beginning of the semester. And you can see that I've prepared by marking the first day of classes. A big blank calendar is a little bit overwhelming. So marking the first day of classes, I know when the start of the semester is. You can also see that I've added this number 1. And I'm going to explain why I've added that in just a second. Now, before I can actually start adding things onto my calendar, what I need to do is take a look at each syllabus that I have this semester. And most professors are going to have an agenda or a timeline. And for this one, the professor has marked due dates in bold. But I'm going to take this a step further by actually highlighting them because it'll stand out a little bit better. So there's a paper due the week of February 14th. There's a midterm exam. This wasn't in bold, so it could be really easy to overlook. So first thing, I'm going through the syllabus and I'm looking for important dates and important deadlines and things like that. Okay, so there's a second short paper. There's an experiential learning activity. There's the second part of that. All right, great. So there's 2 short papers and 2 experiential learning activities and a midterm. But wait a second, there's no final. So the professor hasn't listed a final on here, but actually earlier, because I read the whole syllabus, I did see a final exam on May 9th. Of course, this is an old syllabus that I'm utilizing. Here's a different syllabus. This one's for a math class. And in this one, there's no weekly agenda. The professor has listed the weekly topics on their Blackboard page instead. So this is just a syllabus to say, here's the breakdown of your grade, but the professor has listed the due dates for each of their classes, as well their exams, as well as the final for this class. All right, so I've got exam 1 for math on February 11th. So I'm going to go over to my Google Calendar and I can scroll forward. Right now I'm looking at the weekly view, and I can go forward and backwards using these little arrows. All right, so here we've got the 11th, and this is the time schedule. We've got the times listed here on the left side of the screen. There's also this little area at the top here, and this is actually for what's called an all-day event. And I'm going to make this exam an all-day event. Now, I know it's not actually going to take all day, but I'll explain why I'm doing this in just a second. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in a title. I want to say what the class is first, and then what it is that's due that day. All right, now we can see that it lists the entire day. And I also have an option down here. There's a little dot with some color. I'm going to color code my classes so that when I look at it, it's very easy to see what's what. So I'm going to make math yellow. So anything to do with this Math 113 class, I'm going to make it yellow. And I can also add a notification. So if I click on this area next to the bell, it's going to give me a notice on my computer. It'll give me a little pop-up window that says Math 113 Exam 1 is tomorrow. I'm going to add a second notification. And actually, I'm going to go into more options because I want to change this actually from notification to an email. And I want this to come up 1 week before the exam. So as a prompt, I know I'm going to need at least a week, probably a week and a half to get ready for this first exam. So I want a reminder so that I don't forget. Again, I don't have to rely on my working memory to hold this in there. I'm going to utilize Google Calendar to prompt me and make sure that, hey, I'm getting ready for this exam. I know it's coming up. So I'm adding this notification that's going to pop up on my computer a day before and an email the week before to remind me, hey, get started studying if you haven't already. Don't go crazy with your notifications. If you have too many, you're going to start to ignore them. So I try to limit it to just 2 for most things. So you don't want to have it like every minute of every day. It's just going to become overwhelming to you. Now there is a nice little description box in here. So if this was an assignment, I might drop the assignment instructions down here. So that way I don't have to go searching for the syllabus or the Blackboard page where the description is. Just spending like another minute or 2 dropping it in right away. I'll put that here. So for an exam, that I don't have that, but it might be over chapters 1 through 4. So I might put that information in here. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And now we can see that that has been added to the top on this date. The reason that I'm not putting it when the class meeting takes place is the next video, I'm going to show how to actually put your weekly routine, your weekly schedule in here. And it's very easy for assignments and things to get lost. So what I'm trying to do by putting the deadline or the exam date at the top, it's going to stand out. So when I look at this, anything that's due for that week is going to pop up at the top. The other thing I can do is switch from a week view to a monthly view. And you can see I've started adding another class. Here's conflict, which is in orange. When you have one syllabus and you say, oh, there's 3 exams and a final, piece of cake, that's easy. Well, multiply by that by 5 or by 6, and then it starts to get a little bit more complicated, right? It means that we have 25, 30 things due in a semester, and that's a little bit more challenging. The other thing is it's going to help me see when my busy weeks are. So if I've got 3 exams in a week, I'll know about it in advance. By making a semester calendar, nothing is going to sneak up on me. I should never be surprised by something. Now, sometimes I know that the professors will change the dates for things. Things will get pushed back because they'll be running behind. But that's just it. Professors almost always push something back. They don't usually push things forward. And the beauty of an electronic calendar is that, let's say we fall a little bit behind in this math class and the professor extends that exam, and instead of having it on Thursday the 11th, it's going to be on Tuesday the 16th. Well, to change this, all I need to do is click on it and drag it over to the 16th. It's just that easy. So there's benefits over having a paper calendar, because in a paper calendar, I would have to cross it off or white it out or erase it and then rewrite it. So an electronic calendar is nice because I can just physically move it very easily over to another slot. Now, the reason that I have added these numbers on the side is that some professors don't actually give you a date. They say this is due the week of, you know, the first week, the second week, the third week of the semester. So what I did was to actually add an all-day event with these numbers. So it lists it out. So it makes it really easy if they say, okay, there's something on the 7th week of the semester, and you can see I've added the other conflict assignments into here. But if there's something here the 7th week, it makes it really easy to find it on my calendar so that I can add it. Okay, so this does take a little bit of time. It takes most people about 20 to 30 minutes to actually go through each syllabus and write down all their due dates. Now, this is just for big assignments, things that are going to take time, things that you can't just get done in one sitting. Okay, so if it's a daily discussion board post, that's not something I'm probably going to put on my semester calendar. If it's a weekly quiz and every single Sunday I know by noon I have a quiz due, I might not put that on here. For if it's occasional quiz, I might actually add it. I'm not going to put my reading assignments on this. That's not what this calendar is for. This is big picture stuff only. If you do nothing else for time management, do this. Get yourself this calendar and put all of your big assignment deadlines and all of your exam dates. And like I said, nothing will surprise you, and it's going to reduce your stress greatly. All right, thank you so much thank you so much. This is, like I said, part 1. Please join us for part 2, where we're going to talk about how to add your weekly routine onto Google Calendar.